Could Mason Rudolph be making his debut as a starter against the Buffalo Bills in Week 7? Let's talk about it next on Titan Upload. And remember, this video is powered by BetUS. So both Paul Kuharsky and the Tennessee Titans' Jim Wyatt have come out and said Trevor Siemian will be a call-up this week against the Buffalo Bills. Does that mean anything? Right now, I think it's clearly, I'm not going to give you a Titan Upload guarantee, but I would say this. It makes total sense to start Mason Rudolph, not just for the fact that Mason Rudolph is going to give this offense a whole new look, and what we saw in Miami, put up points. Again, it wasn't anything specifically that he did, but he was the leader of the offense. People had confidence, and that team looked just different in the second half against Miami. And people forget, Will Levis started that game against Miami, and he was hurt with his shoulder after the first quarter, and it was 0-0 when Rudolph went in. People also forget that Mason Rudolph basically took the Titans from one end of the field to the other end of the field to put them in the field goal range in the last 2 minutes of a 2-minute drill in the first half. And he made some big-time throws and some great decisions to give them points, which gave them confidence in building into the second half. Now, why I think Mason Rudolph will start, here's the reasons. Number one, he should have started last week. Common sense has to enter the Titans, not only with the front office, but move down to the head coach and then with the football team. After the game, Will Levis said he couldn't throw deep because of his shoulder. Why would you put him in that position? Well, honestly, hear me out on this one. So why did Callahan play Levis last week knowing we think that Levis was hurt? But here's the thing. If he plays Mason Rudolph's going to do a couple things. Number one, Mason Rudolph's going to throw for 300 yards. He's going to put up some touchdowns. The Titans are just going to kick the Colts' butt. And that's just how it was going to be. Why? Because a week prior in Jacksonville, that's what Trevor Lawrence did to the Indianapolis Colts. 378 or 387 yards, multiple touchdowns, played out of his mind, wasn't sacked one time, looked completely comfortable. I don't even know if the Colts even hit him. The Colts had the 32nd ranked defense, 29th against the pass. So you throw Rudolph in there, you look like an absolute joke as a coach because you made some bad decisions not playing him sooner. And the Titans probably could be 4-1. And for the fact that Will Levis is never getting that job back. But if you went with Will last week, you can kind of put the training wheels on and not give him an opportunity to mess up, even though he still does mess up, by the way. Regardless of the fact, that's kind of how the story went. And not only was he bad last week, there were even the reporters, Archuleta and Spiro, whatever his name is, who said even when he threw outside of the numbers, which wasn't much, the ball seemed to die. After, again, the game press conference, it's a boo-hoo thing with Will Levis. Oh, my arm hurts. I couldn't throw the ball. That's ridiculous. Then why are you out there? So all signs point to yes. Heck yes, it does. Mason Rudolph makes total sense. The Bills are a better football team than the Indianapolis Colts. The Bills' defense is better than the Indianapolis Colts. You need an opportunity. You go out there with Will Levis this week with a bum shoulder, and he's not fully healthy, which, by the way, Friday gets on the injury report as questionable and didn't have that sign all week long. So shout out to the Titans for kind of hiding that all week, it seemed like, and then boom, throwing it out there. No, it makes perfect sense why they would go forward with Mason Rudolph and not play Will Levis. And then you're going to throw Will Levis out there hurt against the Buffalo Bills. Do you remember a couple years ago when Vrabel made the same mistake with Kyle Phillips? It was week 2 after the Giants, and Kyle Phillips had a bum shoulder again from getting hit towards the end of the game. He couldn't even lift his arms up. He couldn't lift them up at all. And what did they do? They still threw him out there, and they made him punt return. And guess what? He fumbled. It killed his confidence. And you can argue that Kyle Phillips was never going to pan out in Nashville because of a dumb injury decision that they decided to play him. Well, you're flirting with that with Will Levis. I already don't think he can play, but some of you still think he can. And if you think he can, you need to take the back seat this week and allow Mason Rudolph to play because it's quite simple. that Rudolph needs to be out there. He's the one that's healthy. He's the one that can help the offense. He's the one that can make Calvin Ridley not complain after a game. And ultimately, he gives us our best shot to win. Again, you head over to BetUS and check them out. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Just use that YouTube code YouTube150 and boom, you're ready to play with BetUS. Currently over at BetUS, they have the Tennessee Titans as a 9.5-point underdogs. You throw Mason Rudolph in there, you never know. So the question is, what are you waiting for? Go over there and check out BetUS. And on top of it, if you use that promo code YouTube150, you will also get, hear me out on this, you will also get 125% on your next 2 deposits after your first deposit. Makes perfect sense to me. So you have the call up, you have the late questionable decision by putting him questionable on the injury report. And then to top it off, I don't know if this is something, but I think there could be more to the story here. As you can see the tweet to my right with Justin. Justin usually comes out with some great source information when it comes to who's being released for the Tennessee Titans. He's a great follow, so definitely go check him out. But when it comes to training camp, Justin usually right on top of it. Heck, when I found out about a certain player being released, Justin already knew before I knew, and I thought I was the first one to know. But with his comment saying, hey, look, this might be the time we get to see the Mason Rudolph offense, there might be a little bit more to it, but we'll have to wait and see. So don't forget to tighten up that like button, hit that subscribe button to help out the channel. Question is, do you want to see Mason Rudolph? Do you not want to see Mason Rudolph? I think I know the answer to that. About 75% of you, I think, want to see him. But hear me out one more time. Why would you play Will Levis if he's hurt? But you throw Will Levis out there against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo, when Buffalo's got on the injury report, I don't know if you've noticed, but it looks like everybody ready to go over there in Buffalo. Everybody's getting healthy for the Tennessee Titans. Surprise, surprise. It just seems like you would destroy his confidence. You would destroy anything he has left within the fan base. And every time that guy steps on the field from here on out, you might hear the word boo. And it's not just because it's Halloween. I firmly believe if you put it in my court, I don't think he's playing, and I think they're going to go with Mason Rudolph. I really do. And if Mason Rudolph does anything out there positively and doesn't cost the team a win and doesn't just give the ball to the other team and doesn't make dumb decisions, I could see Mason Rudolph being your longtime starter. But let's not get too carried away because, like I said, with this organization and what happened last week throwing him out there injured, I mean, heck, you might be seeing another Will Levis out there who can't even throw the ball. And what a tragedy that would be. Till next time, take care and tighten up. And thanks to our buddies over at BetUS. Check out that promo code in the description.